Hey, welcome everybody. François Latat for my role-playing channel, and yeah, I will ramble for you, my three viewers. So, yeah, nevertheless, I decided to make a video in English, something that I did in French. Just a comeback on the campaign I've just finished as a player. It was Uncharted Worlds, a PBTA game, and it was the game world was RPGS2. Yes, we got through RPGS2, that gaming world that I've mentioned in my video yesterday, um, that I will partly use in RPG a day. So yeah, science fiction setting. So okay, many things got through this campaign, many good things, in fact, and well, some things that I have discovered about my taste in role playing games. All right, first of all, let's go with the good side of it. It's the first time ever, I say ever, that I get through a whole campaign as a player with a character, that character that survives. Yes, because every time I got into a campaign, never had the chance to really finish something, to have a proper conclusion. It's always opened up in space. The campaign is over, so yeah. Let's talk about some characters that I enjoyed playing. I have someone called Irvin in Pathfinder. I was enjoying him. Gruff in The Dark Eye with Florian as a game master. Never finished that. Well, all for one regime diabolique. Well, I don't think it will ever end. So Brise-Cœur is open up in space. It's just to name those few, but this character called Reverend Colby's Cult was some sort of a priest, a space priest, preaching the golden. I don't remember the English name because I was using the French version of the name, but it was a golden changer, okay, something like that, which is something in space that is revered as a god. And I was preaching him, and I was really into it. I really enjoyed playing a priest of a religion, and throughout the campaign with some evolutions, it became that he was the priest of the god himself, but I was not in the religion. So yeah, I kind of outed myself with the religion because the god talked to me and guided me and put his wisdom into me, which guided my character. I really enjoyed playing a character to its fullest. Okay, up to the end, I was a sage, and I had some telepathic power, and we had some big galactic problems in our hand. We had to find a solution, and we found a solution to help the galaxy get through a major problem, which was the monolith, something from RPGS2 that is taking up the mind of the people approaching it. Yeah, it was great. I had great players with me, to tell the truth. People really enjoyed that. The game master was great, my friend Mark. So he handled it quite well. Make his homework with RPGS2, and yeah, we were really into it with him, with holding the bar, and mainly we had a couple of players coming through, but the two main other players was my friend PA, which was playing Max, a teenager mechanic, and we had Stephanie playing a robot, a rat robot, a patch up of many technological devices from different galaxies. So it had different personalities, but he had quite a good relation with computers in general, which was very handy. We used to have a pilot, which the character was kind of my daughter, and we had a prince of a dynasty who was a scientist, Dr. Ox, which was there, a couple of sessions. He was a very interesting character too, and brought many good things to it. So yeah, it was really the story of our characters going through the galaxy and eventually coming up with the problem of the monolith, but all the while I had my own personal quest for faith, and the others all had their own little things they wanted to explore through our ship, which was firstly called Coming Soon. And yeah, because well, the way the game master made the stuff, he decided that our solar system was in the game, so he created the RPGS entry, owns his own entry for that, and all the big names are kind of controlling different factions in the solar system, and Disney is there. So our ship was kind of rented by Disney, and every time we got near a spaceport, there was the hull of our ship was showing some previews of movies, Disney movies. So yeah, so we had used that quite a lot, that feature of our ship, to sometimes project other images and other stuff. It helped us a lot. At some point, it was our ship, and it was called the Second Chance. So quite a big journey with that character, quite a lot of fun with those other characters. I'm really proud of this. Now, what have I discovered for myself? First of all, well, role-play scenes, I do like them, but not that much, okay? And why am I saying that? It's because, well, the other people I was playing with, well, kind of enjoyed that. Kind of enjoyed a casual conversation between two characters, and I enjoyed it a lot. And we spent some sessions talking a lot during 30 minutes, sometimes 45 minutes, and all that. But at some point in the campaign, it was going on. Those conversations were happening in a moment where, well, we should take action. We should make a decision. We should go somewhere. We should go get forward in the mission that we have, the task we have to accomplish. But we were kind of sometimes casually talking, and how are you doing, and that kind of stuff. And I was kind of like, well, I was getting in the train of that. I was jumping in the wagon and going with the family, because I felt that the other characters really enjoyed that. And by the last time we saw each other, they kind of mentioned it again. Well, it's fun to have that kind of conversations. It helps you define your character and all of that, but I'm not into that. I discovered I'm not much into that. I'm much more, well, I think I'm more into getting into adventure, getting myself into adventure more than social conversation. If I get into social, personally, I do prefer that it has a use in the adventure we're going to accomplish. I'm not saying that I'm not open to any kind of other type of casual conversations, because yeah, it adds its good side. It adds some layers of deepness to your character, which is great in a sense, okay? Because of all of those conversations, well, my character was a very rich character, okay? I discovered myself throughout those conversations. So I'm not close to that, and once in a while, but if I'm taking what I do prefer, I would prefer to jump into adventure, jump into the action, jump into, trying to figure out the problem of the task we have to accomplish, try to figure out how to do it, more than just talking and saying, oh yeah, how are you doing? You know, sometimes I didn't have any answer. I had to improvise some stuff. But yeah, like I said, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to do that kind of stuff. Just that, well, it's not my preferred way to go into role-playing. So that's something that I have discovered about myself. Casual conversations, I have my limits. Okay, I prefer to to have something related to the action. Oh, the other thing that I've discovered, but I have a hint that was not my preferred mode of role-playing game. I'm really not a fan of PBTA games. I'm really not a fan. Doesn't mean that I haven't found moments that it felt great, because narratively, of course, you have a lot of freedom with a PBTA game, and when you roll the dice, it has huge impacts, which sometimes define some important moments in the campaign. But in general, I do find PBTAs to have a lack of, let's say, ropes to pull on. Okay, ropes to manipulate the system. Okay, I like role-playing games where you have all the assets on your character sheet, and before getting into a risky business, okay, something that might be risky and you know it, sometimes you can look at your sheet and say, okay, I have this, that, I have a point of that, I can spend that to help me and go there, and trying to succeed against all the odds, because you chose. So how can I say it? Not being a victim of randomness. I find PBTAs to be very random. Okay, like I said, you can have all the assets on another game, all the assets on your sheet, and you try to put that on the table, and you assume if you fail because you at least tried. While in PBTA, you can narratively go out with all the things. You can see anything. You can create all I'll use the word, the bullshit that you have, and how this and that and that. But when you roll the dice, you're stuck with 2d6, 1 modifier. You can put on the table things to try to boost, to help randomness go on your side. So you're totally helpless. But at the same time, I know that even if you fail at a PBTA, it always comes with an interesting outcome. You can count of, usually it would be an interesting outcome. But with the other game that I would prefer, you can have an interesting outcome with a failure. You can inspire yourself by PBTAs if you haven't tried this. So it's possible. So, and the character, we did 70 sessions in that campaign, which is a lot. And I think it's a way more than a PBTA can handle. Though this one, with the experience point that you accumulate, there was a ceiling of stuff that you could have on your sheet, and it was a long time. By half of this campaign, okay, 35-40 sessions, I couldn't get more moves. Okay, I was topping the chart, and the only thing I could do, it was to buy some side stuff from my character, which we had a chart into the supplement, Far Beyond Humanity, to name it, or to eventually say, well, that move, I don't use it that much, so I can spend points to remove it and take a new one, which is okay, because at the same time I was enjoying how characters were being made, all the choices that were available. You had a lot of variety into what you could achieve, okay, to start with, but at some point you were topped. So yeah, PBTAs, it's kind of, it's not the first PBTA I did, by the way. This is the one I did the most, 70 sessions, but I did have some sort of experience before. And yeah, my feeling, and it's just a matter of taste, by the way, my feeling is that when the dice are rolling, the game is playing at your place, and yeah, that kind of bothers me a little bit. Like I said, I prefer games where, yeah, there's randomness, there's dice being rolled, you don't know the outcome, but at the same time, I like system where you can mold a little bit what you're about to do from either the player side of the or the game master side, on both sides, that you can mold a little bit what you're about to do. And when the dice are rolled, they are rolled with something that might put some weight into what you're trying to achieve. I don't know if you understand me. So yeah, that's my thing. So yeah, in general, I'm very proud of this campaign. The first time I'm getting through a character, which I'm very happy. I really had a good time with them. But at the same time, well, I know that being too role play, at some point I'm kind of out me a little bit. And PBTA as well. I'm not a fan. I was not really a fan before, but I couldn't put the finger on what was bothering me with PBTAs, but with this campaign, with every occasions I had to see it in action, well, I can explain what is bothering me. And to tell the truth, I won't say no, to getting into a PBTA campaign as a player. It will all depend more on the table than the setting or anything, okay? But as a game master, of course, I'm not interested. Though I talk about this game once in a while. It's a game that I use with big groups called Sodalitas, which has a PBTA frame, but this is kind of a 1 hour one shot, so it doesn't have big impact if you have a dice system that takes control like that for the hour being. It fits well. But if I want to get seriously into something, I'm not much into PBTA, and it's not my guy. So yeah, so I'm pretty much made my own little review of my experience with Uncharted Worlds. So that's all I had to say, François Letarte, for my role-playing channel. And up to next time, I hope you have as much fun in your life as in your games. Goodbye.